One thing I wanted to touch on was the Avila interview. We finally heard from Avila. I think he was on Todd Frazier's podcast. I think it's called Foul Territory. He was asked, like, what are some moves he regretted? He named the Justin Verlander trade. Well, he named another trade. I can't remember what other trade he named, but he also mentioned some trades that he thought, were good, like the Nicholas Castellanos trade. He mentioned the Shane Green for Joey Wentz trade. Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of interested to hear what he said. I watched Chris Castanella's video. He mentioned the free agent signings that Avila made, and with us talking about Baez, that was kind of one thing I saw was like Baez was like Avila's last gift to Tigers fans was signing Baez to that 6-year deal. But did you see the video, and what did you kind of make of his comments hearing from Avila, who, the Detroit Tigers, as we know it, Avila is probably the most responsible for the product we have on the field right now.
I watched it. As somebody who, does these podcasts, I know that it's difficult to speak on camera and give public speaking interviews or whatever like that. But I was, as always, kind of taken aback by I guess how poor of a public speaker he is. And I don't listen. I use and all that stuff too. But this is the general manager of a team, and he was hemming and hawing for like 30 seconds. It felt like, but yeah, I mean, I was amazed he actually went on there and talked at all, because what can you say? It actually kind of sounded to me like he still feels like he's a member of the Tigers, which I get, right? But he was saying we did this and we did that, and he mentioned how he regretted the Austin Meadows trade because of what Prodigy's has done, and yeah, he was like, pointing to Reese Olson and Alex Lang as wins, and it's like, well, okay, but that's because you guys were so awful that you just were able to get something for a couple players. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know what really to say about it. He's the former GM, and he tried to accentuate the positives while sort of acknowledging some of the negatives, but not really that much.
I'm kind of surprised he gave the interview at all, but it's fine. He came close to being honest about everything and upfront. Give him credit for that. There's not much to say. The proof is you look at the record. You are what your record says you are, as Parcells used to say, right? There was a lot of things that went wrong. Some of it was bad luck. Some of it was poor decision making. Some of it probably gets kicked up to the owner before the general manager. But no matter how you count it, all of it just came into a mess. He started with a couple of bad deals potentially when he took the job. Had a lot of work to do, and showed that he was never really quite up to the task. The Zimmerman signing blew up on him right away, and that kind of things were kind of downhill from there, for a lot of respects. So the big thing is we're in a different era now. Scott Harris is here. It's a regime that who knows if they're going to be any good. We don't know. But, they're not going to clean house now, right? Not in year one. So we're kind of in at least probably a 3 to 6 year pattern here with Scott Harris to see how it's going to be different from Avila, and what changes and what's noticeable. That's going to be really interesting, more so than even looking back at Avila, because we can blame Avila all day long for Marcelo Meyer and blah, 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 but we're moving on.